Anyway, I can say that we can start. We can start. I'm just going to move the chairs aside and let's start the seminar, okay? I'm going to get my personal Sage and Palo Santo. But before starting, as I said, we're going to open up with a sound ritual. Can you all hear me from here? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Very good. Now, all you have to do is follow my initial guidance. Make yourselves relaxed, whether you are sitting down or laying down. This is an opening ritual to attune ourselves energetically and spiritually to this seminar. So now make yourself comfortable, keep your eyes open. Take one deep breath, breathe in deeply, breathe out, close your eyes and relax. I call upon the spirits that will help us open up our mind, our hearts, to fill us with divine knowledge, help to become the better for ourselves, and to fill ourselves with all we need of time and space, process of life, and battles all beings. Here we are, ready to start this online seminar with the right energy that brings us the right attitude with the mind and the heart. Okay. Were you all able to hear the sound?
No sound, sorry.
Okay, wow. Okay. I'll have to come closer then.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. As I said, sometimes online is what it is, especially when we have to do live sound. Okay, anyway, I'm going to do the sound part even at the end, so nobody misses anything, okay? Anyway, let's talk about the Palo Santo and the Sage. The first thing to understand is that the Palo Santo has feminine property, okay? It generates a feminine energy, while the sage generates a masculine energy. And when we do cleansings and purifications of environments, and when we do energetical, let's say when we want to uplift the energy field of environments, okay? When we want to uplift the energetical field of environments, when we want to cleanse the auras of people as well and uplift the energetical fields, it is good to combine both together, okay? Because the sage, for an example, let's say, generates an empowering energy. It uplifts us in a way to be more assertive and courageous and responsible, okay? And it is very protective. And it fends away lots of negative energies. And the Palo Santo, in a certain way, does the same thing, but it represents more, let's say, a more subtle, soft-like energy, okay? So here we have courage and determination, assertiveness, okay? It's more like a warrior type of energy. And here we have a more, let's say, compassionate energy, a loving energy, a peaceful energy. And it is always good to balance the both together. When we use the sage and the Palo Santo, it is good to keep the sage with your, let's say, left hand, okay? Left hand. And the Palo Santo with your right hand. Why? Because we are practically even balancing the two hemispheres of our brain. It is neurosynchronicity. Because while we are using the left hand, okay, putting the masculine sage in our left hand, the right hemisphere of our brain is commanding our left hand, and the right hemisphere is the intuitive part. So it means that we have to balance our masculine energy with the intuitive side of our brain, which is feminine, okay? While on the other hand, using, let's say, the right hand with the Palo Santo, we are using the left hemisphere of our brain, okay? The left hemisphere, which is the more grounding part, the assertive part, the rational part. So it means that we are balancing the intuitive with the rational, the feminine with the masculine, and we are making them dance together in a harmonious, beautiful circle of light that goes clockwise and anti-clockwise, because the universe with its energy, or let's say the energy that flows through the universe, is always clockwise and anti-clockwise. It is one of the fundamental principal laws of how energy manifests, okay? And how energy works throughout the universe. Material, anti-material, gravity, anti-gravity, time, anti-time, space, anti-space, because the universe in its nature is made of material and anti-material, okay? This is even what science says in quantum physics, okay? We are made both energetically of the material side and the anti-material side, okay? So these two things represent even the fundamental law of creation, okay? Masculine, feminine, material, anti-material, grounding, etherical, grounding, material, three-dimensionality, the abstract, that then discerns and transcends into reality, okay? Especially when the two work together, okay? They have to work together. And understanding this and applying this concept to ourselves, we have the key to self-realization. We have the key to master ourselves, okay? In a proper and balanced and healthy way. Now, we are going to study the two main Viking runes, okay, of protection of transformation, of connection, in the sense that we connect ourselves to the power of the spirit, and it cleanses us and empowers us, okay? But the first rune that we will study for protection, okay, which is great for environments, which is great for the office, which is great for protecting the family, where you can do this symbol right in front of the door with the Sage and the Palo Santo, in any environment, in the corners, the windows. You can do it on yourself to cleanse and protect your aura. You can do it on your children, even without the Sage and Palo Santo, just simply, even with the sign of the fingers as well, if you don't have the Sage and Palo Santo. This is a very highly cleansing and protective runic symbol. And I'm going to bring the whiteboard closer that you can hear me, because as I understood from the distance, it's very difficult to hear me, okay? So let's be a bit more practical according to the possibilities that we have, okay? According to what Zoom offers us. So I'm going to take the whiteboard and get it close and closer. Okay. And here we are. Can you all hear me from this distance?
Yes.
You see, experience helps us to be more practical as well in life as well, okay? To improvise on the spot. And there is nothing better than doing things spontaneously, okay? So here we are now. We are going to create in the astral, or learn to create in the astral, a light protective Viking runic symbol called Algits. Algits, which simply means protection, okay? Protection from all the malevolence of society, all the malevolent negative energies that society throws at us, okay? That in the astral has the tendency to create ugly looking archetypes, okay? So we are talking about Algis, Algis. It's called Algis, A-L-G-I-Z, okay? Let me look for another marker, okay? Can you all see this? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for the collaboration. We are working as a collective consciousness here. Okay. If there is any difficulty in understanding or hearing, please let me know, because it's very important that each one of you gets the best out of this seminar. Okay. Algis. And the runic symbol is very simple. It resembles a tree. It's very similar to a tree, or a person that puts themselves in this position, okay? It's as if that it is stopping all negativities to advance. It's blocking the negativity. Stop, you're not going anywhere from here. A bit like in the movie, The Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf was blocking the Balrog, he had his staff and he was in this position. He was saying to that demon, from there, you're not going anywhere. You're not going beyond this boundary. Stay where you are. You're not going beyond this boundary. And of course, that horrible monster couldn't go beyond the boundary, okay, to enter the human realm. This is an old movie called The Lord of the Rings, okay, where there was this wizard that did this. And of course, as you can see, this is the symbol Algits. But how to do it with the Sage and the Palo Santo, okay? Very simple. Let me look for a lighter here. I have the Sage in my hand, okay? And the Palo Santo, okay? And let's say that I light them up. So I'm lighting up the Sage, and let's make it burn a bit, okay? We are creating the perfect ingredient for protection, okay? And it's smoking, and I'm going to light up the Palo Santo, okay? I feel like a spiritual cook tonight. And here we go. Okay, the Palo Santo is lighting up. Okay. And what do I do? Now, the masculine energy represents an energy that comes from above. And it is the energy of the sky that comes from above and below and to the ground. The feminine energy, this is the energy of Odin, okay? The energy that comes from the sky. Let's call it the energy of Odin, the divine masculine. And the energy of the feminine, the divine feminine, which is the bride of Odin. Her name is Freya, okay? So she's the divine goddess, okay? The bride of the god Odin, okay? The All-Father and the All-Mother. And her energy comes from below, from the ground, and goes upwards, okay? So what should I do initially? Are you all ready? Are you all attentive here?
Yes.
Once I've lit up the sage, and once I've lit up the Palo Santo, with the Odin sage, I go from above, I can stand up, I go from above, and I go below like this, tracing a line from above, and I go downwards to the ground. I can take one deep breath and breathe out, and because breathing is important. It helps us to convey the energy better, okay, the intent. And then with the Palo Santo, with my right hand, the Freya energy, I go from below and upwards. Or I can do it at the same time, okay, if I wish so. And what do I do after? I go to a certain point in the center of the line, or slightly upwards, not right in the center, but it's the height of the heart. It's the height of the heart, okay? So I've done this, I've done that, and I go to the height of my heart chakra, and I breathe in deeply, and at the same time, I expand like this, like a tree. Mm-hmm. And I stay this way for a few seconds, even 1 minute, because it puts me into the condition of connecting myself to this energy, okay, to the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And this is something that I can do, as I said, in environments, in my house. It's good to do it in front of the entrance of the house, okay? Let's say that before going to work and your house is a bit isolated, but Dubai is a very safe place anyway, so it's not the case of Dubai, but when you live in a place like Europe, for an example, okay, or like USA, you know, it's a different type of reality, and you can even receive visits in your house like burglars, okay? And not only the subtle energies, negative energies that can come through, let's say, negative mindsets of persons, okay, that have the tendency to cast this type of energy on your home, on your family. But it is a protective room that avoids even the house of being, let's say, visited by unwanted visitors, let's say, okay? So beyond the energetical protection, it even creates a barrier for physical protection as well. Okay, so when you step out of your house and you close the door, okay, and you're in front of the door, what do? You take the Odin sage, breathing deeply, the sky, and bring the sky downwards, his energy downwards to the ground. And you take the Freya Palo Santo, you point it to the ground, and you bring it upwards to the sky. And then at the height of the heart, in front of the door of your home, and that's it. You stay for a few seconds. You show gratitude to the divine masculine and the divine feminine for their powerful protective energy with your own words, and you just go your way. Whatever you have to do, you go to work, you go your way. And even if you don't have Palo Santo or Sage, you can do it without, okay? Because we are tracing light symbols in the astral, okay? Because it's mainly in the astral where all sorts of contradictory energies travel, right? Okay? Because it is the ocean of our thoughts that then elaborates, let's say, the vibrational quality of our thoughts and intentions and emotions in a positive, but unfortunately, even in a negative way, okay? But we have to protect ourselves from the negative that comes from the astral. So you can even simply do with your fingers as well, okay? You can put your fingers this way, for an example, okay, which is the mudra of, which I like to call the mudra of transcendence, okay? I teach it in my TQR course, this type of mudra, okay? It is a very powerful position. When your hands are in this position, you can open up your channels to generate energy in your hands, especially when they are in this position, okay? It is a very powerful mudra to project energy from the hands. And here we go. So, and it is something that you can use, that you can do on your kids before sending them off to school. It is a way even to cleanse the aura of people. Objects as well, like bottles of water, objects that you receive from other people. So there is many ways to use this rune, okay, called Algits. Understand? All clear?
Yes.
Have you all tried it at home? All good?
Mm.
Any questions?
I have a question, Gian.
Go ahead.
Hi. Yes. Is it true that the sage, because it's a masculine energy, attracts more the attachments and the entities?
Well, in a certain way, I don't say that it attracts the entities, but it takes away the fear of the entities, okay? Because when we are talking about entities, the entities have the tendency to play around with our minds. If we are not connected to our heart, if we are not connected to our soul, which is the pathway to our spirit that enlightens us and gives us our authentic strength. So the masculine energy of the sage, what does it do? It fends off the negative energies, but at the same time, it helps us to overcome our fear. Because the negative entities feed on our fear, you understand? But when we overcome our fear, when we master our fear to become fearless, okay? And this is the concept of the light warrior. The negative entity loses its power and it transforms itself into another type of presence, which is, let's say, the fragment of an aspect of ourself which we are invited to integrate, which is our assertive nature, okay? Our assertive nature. This is when we transform, let's say, the shadow into our ally, the shadow into our strength, the fear into fearlessness, courage and determination, and assertiveness that then furtherly brings us into our capability to exalt our light, to exalt the luminous part, okay? So it's always a question of balance, okay? And the sage always reminds us in its masculine energy that it is necessary to understand how it's important to firstly take care of yourself, to be in the condition to then do whatever is necessary to do in your everyday life for the others. But it is a type of energy that builds up and empowers us in a way to become fearless, okay? Where in our fearlessness, we are not feeding the negative anymore, okay? We're not feeding it anymore. While, let's say, the Palo Santo of course, is also a protective energy, but it's more like, what can I say, a transformative energy. It is an energy of compassion. It is an energy of love. It is an energy that puts us into a state of forgiveness, okay? It puts us into a transformative state through acceptance. This is the nature of the Palo Santo, okay? So when we have these two things balanced together, then we are understanding what it means to be whole with ourselves in our masculine nature and in our feminine nature, where the invisible interacts perfectly with the visible, and the visible interacts perfectly and in a balanced way with the invisible. Both work together, okay? And this is how manifestation occurs throughout all the universe, okay? This gives us the power to manifest as well, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Have I been clear on this, Mariam?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Oh, very good, very good. Does anyone else have any questions? Go ahead. No worries. All is good. Hello, Alia, you wanted to say something? Okay, if there are no more questions, okay. You can write, Alia, if you have difficulties with the microphone, okay? Just take your time and write, okay?
Gian, hi. I have a quick question regarding the entities that you were talking about. So, apart from our ego and conditioning that we have in the mind, what are the other negative entities we can consider or be aware of?
Well, we have to understand one thing, okay? There is our everyday reality, okay, which is our human reality. There is the astral plane, and there is the higher dimensional planes, okay, like the heavenly realms, okay?
Right.
Well, when we are talking about the negative entities, we are talking about the astral plane, which is capable of creating elusive alternative realities that are just an illusion of our own mindset and our emotional issues. And it is the reflection of the type of, let's say, relationship that we have with ourselves on individual level and even on collective level, where on collective level, this thing is furtherly empowered, okay? There is an old saying that says, the gods are great, but who are the gods? But then humanity, who are the believers, are even far more greater. And they create the greatness of the gods, okay? Or they even give power to the negative entities, like which they call historically demons or fallen angels, for an example, okay? But what are we talking about? We are talking about the anthropological archetypization of our beliefs that then come to life in the astral plane, and they are fed through our same belief, you understand? So it is a reflection of who we are. But many people don't realize it. Many people don't realize it. And what happens in this case? On the astral plane, these entities gain power on the people that don't realize it. They gain power on the individual that doesn't realize that what is occurring is the result of their own creation, which is the reflection of the relationship that they have with themselves on mental, emotional level, and subconscious level. The astral is the reflective mirror of the subconscious, okay? It's great.
That's very interesting.
Okay, yes. And imagine this thing occurring even on galactic level, because we are not alone, you understand? It's not that there are not only people on Earth creating issues in the astral realm, where time and space and just collide together in one single vortexual reality, which is beyond time and space. It is a reality that is also known to be called hyperspace, okay? It is the reflection of our thoughts. It is the ocean of our thoughts. But even on galactic level, we are not alone. There are so many other races and civilizations out there who have the tendency to create a rippling effect, let's say, or a manifestive effect in the astral according to their beliefs and cultures. So imagine how many entities and how many good and bad entities are out there, which are the reflection of how we relate to ourselves, not only on this planet, but even on galactic level. So, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's like a sea, an ocean of unlimited possibilities.
Yes. So that's why it's very important to take responsibility on ourselves, on our thoughts, on our emotions, to even create a belief system that doesn't feed the negative. We're feeding the negative, it creates a rippling effect in the astral, and now we are starting to create archetypical forms in the astral that then affects our everyday lives in a negative way. And we don't realize it, and we become victims of this in the end. We lose, let's say, the concept and the awareness of who we are really, how truly powerful we are, because we are the reflections of the divine that operates far beyond the astral realm, which is the spirit.
Absolutely.
Okay? When we connect to the spirit, we have the power to bring divine order in the astral that then creates a positive rippling effect that brings divine order even in the visible universe in the terms of the law of attraction, the law of polarity. So imagine how things work. Imagine how powerful the mind is, okay? But we are not educated in this way, and we don't even know what spiritual hygiene is all about because we are not educated in this way, and we don't know how to create a hygienic rippling effect on the astral, okay? That's
okay.
what
this is deep, but it totally makes sense to me.
Of course. It's the science of the consciousness, okay?
So, talking about the gods that you relate to, like Odin and Freya, and of course there is Thor and his brothers and sisters like Loki.
Yes, this is all a part of a vast topic.
Yeah, so speaking of, for example, Loki, he's just a representation of just one representation of a god of mischief and illusion. So it means there are many others.
Of course, but it is the reflection of the narcissistic and conflictual nature of who we are.
Narcissistic, you mean?
When we are trapped in our ego, you understand?
Right.
Yes.
So if we create by unknowingly, a lot of people create the ripple effect of feeding those, can we reverse it by changing our vibration and bringing back our power that we've given? Obviously we can.
Of course, because it's all a question of changing our belief system to understand that it's not the divine through the astral that overpowers us, but it's both ways. Let's say that we create, we manifest in the astral, and the divine uses the astral to reflect itself upon us, which is the result of what we have created out of our minds and out of our consciousness. Okay? So this is practically part of the concept. Okay? So when we look at ourselves in our human existence, we are practically the divine oneness, living and experiencing human form, but we are principally divine oneness, while the astral is just, let's say, an abstract of us trying to find a sense of what divine oneness is all about, in the good way and in the bad way, in the positive way and in the negative. But of course, if we want to address ourselves ourselves on the right pathway of our human evolution in an uplifting way to evolve our consciousness, we have to understand that the negative is the result of our own actions on subconscious level and address it and to transform it, okay? Mm. Because the astral, practically in its nature, is, let's say, the energy field, or let's say, the energy realm that regards the law of attraction. It has an effect on our reality, okay? Because, and this is the law of polarity. Mm. It has an effect or in a positive or in a negative way. Of course, as human beings, we need a three-dimensional vision of things because we are still limited in our brains. We operate on a three-dimensional level. But when we start to understand that we are far beyond the three-dimensional concept and we are multi-dimensional beings, and this is the nature of the soul, and the possibilities are infinite. And why are the possibilities infinite? Because we are spirit. Then the belief changes. You understand? Then the belief changes. And then we start to realize that, okay, I'm in my human form, but beyond my human form, I am this divine energy of oneness, the great spirit with its fatherly and motherly energy, living a human experience and trying to go back, or let's say, which is on the pathway of going back, of recognizing itself again, okay? So the human pathway is a pathway of reawakening, where slowly, when we start to enter this concept, we are waking up from this, let's say, deep amnesia, okay? Where in this amnesia, we are so conditioned by our own illusions. And these illusions, let's say, are the reflection of what occurs in the astral realm. Okay, so when we are talking about divinities, these are three-dimensional concepts. In a good way, there are the good divinities and the bad divinities, but these are three-dimensional concepts. And these are three-dimensional concepts of our own illusions, if you think about it, because beyond all of this, we are oneness, we are spirit. We are oneness. And this goes far beyond human comprehension. And this is what gives us the power to choose what to believe in, how to believe in it. And it's not, let's say, a question of religion. It's a question of spirituality. Okay, it's a question of spirituality that starts from individuality and spreads out on a collective level. This is what it's all about, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gian.
You're welcome. Okay, let's move forward with the seminar. Okay, now, what are we going to do further on with the algis? It will be good even to know how to create a portal of positive energy, a divine portal of the energy of Odin and Freya, a cleansing portal, okay? For a very particular ritual based upon the 4 directions. Now, once you understand where the north is and where the south is and where the east is and where the west is at your home, for an example, I'm pointing towards the direction of the north right now. And if you have any doubts, you can even download, let's say, a compass, an electronic compass on the mobile phone to understand. What are we going to do? Firstly, you can do the algis symbol, okay, in the very center of your home, or what you consider the heart of your home, in the north. You do the algis symbol in the north, as I taught you, okay? And then you go towards the the east, and you do the same thing towards the east. You go towards the south, and you do the same thing towards the south. And you go towards the west, and you do the same thing towards the west. Because this means that you are creating a protective field in all the 4 directions of the universe. And this means that you are creating a protective field in your aura, throughout your consciousness, that will accompany wherever you are in all the directions of time and space. But it is also the first phase to create a protective portal in your home, okay, to permit the positive energies of the spirit realms, okay, the positive energies of the high dimensions to come through into your home. And it is a way to create a meditative portal for yourself, a healing portal, but beyond this, even a portal that you can use for distant healing. If you know someone who needs distant healing, you can put the photograph of someone in this portal, for example, an animal, but you can even empower food, energize food with this type of portal, okay? Because now we are going to talk about the part that is in the center. Now, let's say that I have done the algis, okay? Like this, like this, like this, in the 4 directions, okay? Very good. What type of runic symbol should I put in the very center? It is a very particular runic symbol called Soliwa, which is the solar rune, okay? It is the rune of divine connection with the Great Spirit, okay? It is a very empowering rune. And it is called Soliwa, solar rune, okay? Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. And it goes like this. In its masculine energy, because it represents the opening of a portal to permit the energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine to flow through, okay? And this is its masculine aspect, okay? The Odin energy. But then we have to combine it with the feminine. That goes like this, okay? And it reminds us of the DNA, if you think about it, okay? And it goes like this, okay? But then I create a combined algis with the Soliwa. So I trace the masculine that comes from above below and the feminine that comes from above upwards.
Gian, sorry for interrupting, but can you move the desk a little bit to the left or right? Yeah, because the screen was reflecting on the actual symbol.
Okay. Can you see
Perfect.
it now? Oh,
yeah, much
okay.
better.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So let me repeat the 2 parts, the masculine, the divine masculine, and then the divine and feminine combined together creates this. This is called a binded rune, okay? Which means combined rune. And plus the algis that flows, that is part of the rune as well, okay? If you've noticed. The masculine that comes from above below and the feminine that flows from below above. Once you've done this, you trace a circle clockwise around the Soliwa, the combined Soliwa, and another circle anti-clockwise around the Soliwa, okay? So what is the final result? But let me explain how to do it first. I have the Sage and the Palo Santo. Okay, the Sage and the Palo Santo. With the Sage, I trace from above the masculine Soliwa, okay? The masculine energy that goes like this, from above and from below. Tak, tak, tak. Okay? I do it with my left hand. With my right hand, I do the feminine, from below upwards. All clear?
Yes.
Yes.
And then with the Sage, from above downwards in the center of the symbol. And with the Palo Santo, from below upwards in the center of the symbol. All clear until now?
Yes.
Very good. Now the circle. With the masculine Sage, from 12 o'clock, I trace a circle clockwise. All clear?
Mm.
Yes.
And then with the feminine Palo Santo, downwards from 6 o'clock, I trace a circle anti-clockwise and go back to 6 o'clock. Okay?
Okay.
All clear?
Yes.
This is what I should trace in the center of, let's say, the portal of the 4 directions that I've created with the algaes. And now I'm going to draw it here on the whiteboard to give a clearer idea, okay? This is the north, this is the south. Can you all see?
Yes.
This is the east, and this is the west. I do an algaes that goes towards the north, and then I trace an algaes that goes towards the east, and then I trace an algaes of protection that goes towards the south, because the algaes of protection is a filter that ensures that through the portal, only positive energy passes, okay? And then I trace an algaes that goes towards the west, okay? Now I do the masculine soliwa with the energy of Odin, the solar rune from above, and do this in the very center. And then I trace the Freya, the feminine solar rune from below. It's in the contrary, in the center. Thereafter, I trace another line from above. It's like as if that I'm uniting the north with the south, but it's smaller, okay? But I trace another line from above, which is the masculine energy that comes down here, and another line from below upwards. Okay, clear until now?
Yes.
Very good. Thereafter, from 12 o'clock, with the sage, I go clockwise, like this. And then with the Palo Santo, 6 o'clock, I go anti-clockwise this way. Okay? And the final result is more or less something like this. Okay? This is the final result. Okay? Where the east is united with the west and the east, and here we go. This is more or less the final result. Okay? All clear?
Yes.
Okay. This is the final result. This is a divine portal to connect with the high dimensional realms of the gods and goddesses that permits their energy to come through. It is a very powerful healing portal. Once you've traced it around you, okay, you can even draw it as well if you want to, okay? Once you've traced it around you, you can meditate in the center of this space to soak in all the positive energies of the higher dimensions. And it opens up your channels. You become more intuitive as well. And it helps you to be inspired, and inspiration is channeling as well, okay? You're channeling information from the higher dimensional realms. Beyond this, beyond using it as a self-healing and connective portal that spiritually uplifts you and opens up your channels, you can use it as a healing portal. You can put photographs of your dear ones inside. You can even put your home inside there. You can put animals that need healing inside there if you've got a cat or a dog that needs healing. You can energize objects, crystals. If you want to energize your crystals, for an example, okay? If you want to energize your crystals, you can put your crystals in this portal, and the crystals are very, very energized, okay? If you work with crystals, you can put even food, water. You can energize your water, energize it with the positive energies of the higher dimensional realms and drink it. And you feel so empowered and you're ready to go through the day. Okay, so this is the concept of the basic Viking medicine wheel of protection, connection, and let's say protection, connection, and transformation, where you are uplifted and all the negative energies are transformed into positive energy, okay? So it's a sort of alchemical medicine wheel. And it filters away all the negative energies that comes from the astral. It's a highly transformative, let's say, portal. Okay, all clear until now?
Yes.
Okay, have you all drawn it? Have you all
Yes.
tried it? Very good. Now, all I can say now is that if you feel unsure about how you are doing it, okay, don't worry, because for shamans, us shamans, it's the pure intent that counts. Let's say that you're doing the algaes, for an example, and you've forgotten to put the sage in the right hand, and you're doing it with the wrong hands. The pure intent counts. This is technicality, okay? This is technicality according to how our brain works. But slowly, with experience, you get better in what you do, okay? It's always a learning curve. So never, ever worry to make, let's say, mistakes or to miss out on a process. Because when there's the pure intent, we have our spiritual guides that are there to help us out as well, okay? Because we are human beings. But as I said, the complete process is masculine sage, feminine Palo Santo, with the sage up, down, with the Palo Santo down, up, facing the north. And then up, down, upwards, facing the east. And then I do the same thing towards the south, the same thing towards the west, okay? And then on the ground where I am, I do the solar rune, the masculine version, okay? The feminine version to create this pattern. And then a line that goes upwards, downwards, downwards, upwards. I trace it on the ground, okay? Or I can even do the line upwards and downwards, or downwards and upwards in the very center, but I prefer to trace it on the ground, okay? This is the concept. And once it's done, yes, and then the circle with the sage clockwise, with the Palo Santo anti-clockwise. And now the portal is ready, okay? And this is what it's all about, okay? This is the basic procedure on how to create a portal of healing, protection, and transformation with the basic Viking runes of protection and, of course, cleansing and healing where the negativities are transformed, okay? All clear until now?
Yes.
Yes, looks good. You know, this alga symbol looks like a trident.
Yes, it looks a bit like a trident. Very true. Very true.
I don't know if there is a reason why it has the three things on. I don't know how to call them. Like Lord Shiva has a trident, and the Poseidon in
Yes.
Greek mythology has trident.
That's very true. Because, you know, when you see different cultures, there are many, what can I say, similar aspects in between different cultures of the same knowledge. At the end of the day, it's a different manifestation, a different approach of the same knowledge that arrives from Great Spirit, okay? And this really makes us understand how we all come from the same place, as we are all oneness at the end of the day. But through culture, we all have our own interpretations, but through culture itself, it always takes us back there, okay? It always takes us back there. Anyway, any questions? All good?
No questions.
No questions. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Well, all I can say now that it's time to say goodbye, but before saying goodbye, since you weren't able to hear my sound, okay, my shamanic music, I've brought the drum here close by, okay? That way you can all hear it, because as I said, sound instruments, shamanic sound on Zoom sometimes goes a bit wishy-washy. But I've brought my drum here close, and I'm going to, okay, that's okay. I'll use my drum, and what can I say? Let's do the closing ritual of this seminar, okay? It's a ritual of gratitude, especially for the divine knowledge that the good spirits, Odin and Freya, has sent to us, okay? Through these beautiful protective and transformative and cleansing runes. So now, just relax now. Take one deep breath and close your eyes. As the ancient sound of the drum echoes in your heart and throughout your soul. I thank the good spirits, the light spirits, for this knowledge. And I thank each one of you for the participation in this beautiful spiritual seminar, made of the knowledge that comes from the good spirits. I honor the spirits within each one of you. Let's show gratitude to the divine in silence. Now take 5 deep breaths and open your eyes. Let's remain for an instant in silence. And here we are. Okay, I honor the spirit within each one of you. And before saying goodbye, before closing this seminar, on the 25th, I'm organizing a one-day workshop where you will study the Viking runes of the 4 directions. And it will be a more profound study on this subject, where there are specific runes for the 4 directions, okay, to activate a very powerful portal through the secrets even of sacred geometry, where we will work with the gods, the northern gods of the 4 directions, of the 4 cardinal points of the cosmos, to arrive to a point where you will be capable of transforming your astral body into a light avatar. And this is very meaningful as well, because we have this capability. Once you transform your astral body into a light avatar, which is a very powerful light warrior, you can get out of your body and do cleansings and fend away all the negativities in this form on the astral plane, okay? So it's a one-day workshop on the 25th, and it's very particular, and I'm spreading out this knowledge now, okay? And beyond this, I've got my 4-level course of Transcendental Quantum Reiki, and for all the details, you just have to telephone or write to Illuminations, and voila. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and thank you
Gian.
for participation. And good night, everyone. And as we say in
Good
Italian,
night.
buon appetito. Buon appetito. Good appetite. Okay.
Thank you. Grazie.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye, Gian.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.